So this is a beginner's introduction and guide to your basic arm balance. Now, those of you who come to my studio have heard me say this over and over again. I generally kind of stop the class and we do a mini workshop where I introduce the fundamentals and the basics of your arm balance. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to think about the hand position that you would adopt if I asked you to do a handstand. Now, this doesn't mean you can do a handstand. What hand position would you adopt? Most people would do this, and it looks something like that. Slightly wider than shoulder width apart, although everyone's different. My wife has a slightly narrower hand position. It doesn't matter. What is the best hand position for you? And then what you do is you think about using your hands, not just resting on your hands. And this is so important. It's very similar to standing poses. When I teach standing poses, I remind everyone, don't just stand on your feet. Don't just stand on these lifeless little creatures at the end of your legs. I want you to really use your feet, engage them. Think about all the intricate muscles in your toes and feet and work them. And it's the same with your hands. The small finger, especially, because that's often neglected. And what I'm doing is I'm creating this tiger-like grip. I'm dragging the fingers around there. Once I have that hand position, I'm just going to bend my elbows and I'm going to press the inside of my elbow, the outside of my elbow, sorry, to the inside, the fleshy part in your knee. And I'm going to feel like they're stuck together. So I'm really pressing into my knee and then I'm using the knee to press into my arm. And that's engaging a muscle which connects the upper and lower bodies together there. So I don't know if you can see this. I'm not here, I'm there. Can you see the difference? This version here, I'm not properly engaged. My elbows are just pushing out. I want my knees in, pressed in, glued tight. And then all I want you to do is to keep tipping forward until your feet start to come away from the ground. So you don't lift your feet. If you lift your feet, you're forcing the pose, you're forcing the expression before you found your center of gravity. Take your time, be patient, recognize that you need to go a lot further forward than you think. Most people are here, and you could say to me, Zahir, clearly, if your feet are falling back down to the ground, you haven't tipped your weight far forward enough for you to find your center of gravity. So keep tipping forward there. And the more bent your elbows are early days, the safer it feels. So again, a beginner's introduction, or those doing the teacher training program who want to learn how to build up towards a fuller arm balance, the more bent your elbows are, the safer it is. You can, of course, then progress the more confidence you get in your arms and your body. You progress to straighter arms. You can press your knee on the area just above your elbow, below that tricep muscle. It's a little bit uncomfortable, but you just need to toughen up a little bit. I'm sure you'll be fine. Same principle with my hands there. See, arms are a little bit straighter than before. And of course, you progress to crane where your arms are perfectly straight. That was really bad. I was just rushing a little bit for the camera. There. So in those, I've got cramp in my abs. So that's how you would build up. The more bent your elbows are early days, the more you're just prepping your brain for the demands of the harder pose. The more comfortable you get, the more motor memory or muscle memory that accumulate. Essentially, the more the brain memorizes that pattern of movement, the stronger you're going to feel, so you can straighten your arms more to the point where you can do the full pose, the crane pose, with your arms perfectly straight. Just break the pose down in 3 stages. The first stage is getting your hands right and taking your time to feel really confident on your hands, because this also sets up the confidence in your arms and hands for your handstand, which will come later. So hands first. Secondly, work on weight distribution. So shift your weight forward, back, left, right, and just try to find that middle point. And the third point is to keep tipping forward and forward and forward until you feel your feet coming away from the ground, rather than you lifting the feet off the ground, which suggests you are nowhere near your center of gravity. Trust the process. It is science. If you repeat the movement enough, if you close your mouth and just try to breathe in and out of your nose, the magic is there. It's just waiting to be discovered.